Would you believe me if I told you that this was a rowing machine? This is the Kingsmith foldable rowing machine. Can you believe that? And you'd be shocked to learn that literally out of the box, it just folds out and is already ready to go. Kingsmith sent me this rower for an honest review, so I'm gonna give you my honest thoughts. They did not pay me for the rower or for this review. They sent it to me and said, give us your honest thoughts. And my first honest thought is I was genuinely surprised to pull this out of the box and have it be ready to go just like this. Usually when it comes to assembling a rower, I've reviewed dozens of rowers on my main channel, Training Tall, and it's always just the process of taking all the crap out of the box and putting things together and screwing things in. And if you saw my most recent rowing review on the Cube rower, and what a nightmare that thing was, when it came to this and I saw the box, I thought it was gonna be this big ordeal, but it wasn't. It literally just unfolded. The only thing it didn't come with is the water that's in the water tank, because this is a water rower. So after literally just unfolding it and plugging it into the wall, because it does have a little connection wire right here that just plugs into any outlet, I spent a few minutes, probably about 10 to 15 minutes, using bowls of water and the automated pump that it comes with to pump the water into the rower. But outside of that, it's literally set up and ready to go. So as far as setup goes, by far, this is the easiest rower I've ever had to set up, ever. Now, if you didn't know, I am 6 foot 8 inches tall. I'm a big boy. And a lot of the times with rowing machines, they just simply aren't long enough to fully extend my legs. But look at this, fully extended with a 36-inch inseam on me, and still a good 5 to 6 inches left before hitting the back end. This is awesome because it's gonna fit the tallest of bodies, but the overall length of the rower isn't crazy because they don't have a lot of stuff going on the back end that would stick out or get in the way if you had a smaller space to work out in. And looking at the rower, you can see that it has sort of this like artificial orange-red wood finish. It doesn't really look like real wood. It looks a little artificial, but feels surprisingly sturdy. And I think it's its low profile, it being very low to the ground. It has less moving parts to, kind of make it feel unstable. It is a long way down, so if you are a bigger person, sometimes getting all the way down on the floor and then having to get all the way up off of the rower, it can be a problem for some. I think the design of the water tank is really interesting because out of the half dozen water rowers that I reviewed over the years, most of the time they default to having a very wide water tank that isn't very deep, but this rower goes for the opposite. It is a deep water tank that isn't super wide. Again, being very efficient as far as saving space. Usually on traditional water rowers, the edges come out to the sides, and that can cause problems if you're putting the rower away, but this is all staying within sort of the wood frame here. And when it comes to putting this rower away or packing it up, it really is as simple as grabbing the bar down here, sliding the seat to the very back end, picking it up, turning the handle to the side so that it gives it some room, and then it's literally ready to go. From here, you can pick it up from the bottom, slide it around. It's really easy to move and unpack. There really are no moving parts or screws or any crap you gotta deal with. And you can see it lays out just like that. And the only other thing you have to do is, once you're ready to row, is there's 2 little handle screws down here, 2 little bolts that you just screw in just a little bit to secure it to the frame, just in case you start rowing really hard. Now this rower without the water filled in weighs about 80 pounds, so it's not gonna be crazy heavy, though it was a bit of a pain in the butt to take out of the box at first. Now when we look at other aspects of the design, when we look at the foot plates here, we have a Pro, which is adjustable foot plates, allowing you to adjust them up or down based on your shoe size. Again, with me being very tall, I tend to have a big old foot, so the ability to be able to set the foot plates low, to adjust for my size is a big plus, and it would work the same for someone with a little itty bitty foot. Now, I really like the design of the handle on this rower, and I wish more rowing companies would make handles like this. If you look at it, it's actually not a totally straight bar. It has a slight angle on the bar itself. And what the slight angle does is it favors more of a natural wrist position. If you take your arm out in front of you and make a fist, you'll notice that your wrist doesn't sit flat like this naturally, that we have kind of a slight ergonomic lift up with our knuckles. And so having this angle on the handlebar helps your wrist sit in a more natural position rather than being fixed to a horizontal bar. It's got a thin rubber grip on it too, which feels fine. It's all right. And when it comes to the seat is actually pretty thick and pretty comfortable. It has a very butt-friendly design with a divot here in the back so that way you don't get the rash that you can sometimes get on your butt crack if the seat was just totally flat. And it has divots here for your thighs as well. So it's quite a comfortable sitting experience, I would say. We do run into a bit of an issue though when it comes to the ergonomics of the foot plate height and the seat. And this is something that I've covered in past rowing machine reviews, but the more level the seat and the foot plates are, the harder it is to lean forward without your lower back rounding. And lower back injuries are one of the most common rowing injuries that occur, and that tends to happen when we reach a little too far with our lower back tucked underneath us. Ideally, the seat would be higher than the foot plates, allowing you to bring your legs lower to more easily lean and reach to the front. And that's why when you row, it's always important to adjust your feet as low as comfortably possible, no matter what rowing machine you're using. Because while I may be a pretty lean guy, if I had a larger midsection here, because the foot plates and the seat are in level, you could see that it would be hard to lean forward like we want to when we row because of how in line the seat and foot plates are. So if I was to give feedback to this company, I would say take this seat, maybe put some more of the wood or something underneath it to lift it higher, lift it up. It wouldn't impact the folding of it at all. I already tested that. But the higher the seat could be, the more comfortable it would be for most people to lean to the front when rowing. Now, how does this thing row? Well, when it comes to being able to achieve a full rowing stroke, this rower pretty much gets you there, which was surprising. When I first took a look at it, I thought that because the handle sort of stops you right here, that you wouldn't be able to get a full stroke when you row. But because the handle stops past the foot plates, this allows you to bend your legs more, achieve a proper body lean, and still have the correct sequencing of leg push, body swing, arm pull. You can see the front just lifted there, whoa, because I didn't screw in the bolts down here. Okay, let me do that again now that the bolts are screwed in. So you can see that I can achieve a full rowing stroke by leaning, reaching, and bending my legs. Now, on something like a Concept 2 rower, you would be able to bend your legs to get your knees over your ankles, which would be preferred. So while you might not be able to get an entirely full stroke, for most people, bending the legs up this far, leaning and reaching, is actually gonna do the trick, especially if you have a larger midsection and you're looking to lose weight with rowing. Now the resistance is created by the water that's in the tank in combination with the resistance dial here on the rower itself. Let's have a listen at what it sounds like when we row at resistance 1 and at the max resistance 32. So you can hear that there's not much of a change in the sound and that you really do get this somewhat pleasant swishing sound of the water when you row. So while it's not the quietest rower in the world, it's also not the loudest. And to be fair, I am in a bit of an echoey room. As far as the resistance dial goes and the resistances that it can create, it actually can create a significant amount of resistance that I think would challenge most people. While you can definitely feel a change when changing the resistance dial from 1 to 32, all those numbers in between, it's a bit harder to tell the exact difference between the numbers themselves. However, since this is water resistance, the physics of water still applies. The harder you move through water, the more it resists you, compared to the softer you move through water, the less it resists you. So it's using some combination of the water resistance and the electronic dial, some sort of magnetic resistance, to create these different feelings. But again, this isn't like a lot of other cheap budget rowers where you can simply just out-row the resistance. This does create a proper challenge, and it will for most people. But now let's talk about this resistance dial and the monitor that is on the screen. Now, unfortunately, if you are just rowing and trying to use the standard dial that it comes with, the path of the handle and the strap actually covers the screen while you row. And it cycles through the different units that it displays so quickly. Even for me, who's been looking at rowing machines for over a decade now, it was hard for me to keep track of what was popping up on the screen. And with the metrics it was reporting, it was showing a lot of numbers that don't necessarily matter in the rowing world, such as miles per hour or stroke count. And your distance was reported in miles, which in the rowing world, rowing is unanimous for using meters and kilometers to track the distance. So to see miles on this rower is weird, because any rowing plan that you follow online is gonna have you doing your rows based off of kilometers. So what the heck? Now you might notice that this rower has a phone mount, and that's because this rower does come with a companion app. It doesn't have the best ratings on the App Store, and to be honest, the app is as simple as can be, basically just reporting some, and not even all of the metrics that are on the dial on your phone where you can more easily see them. And you know, the app can show you some data and show you your workout streak day to day, but it doesn't have any sort of engaging or entertaining way to keep you motivated to showing up on the rower. But luckily, because you do have the phone holder, you can use something like my follow along workout app, Just Row, where you can literally row with me while I coach you through hundreds of different workouts across dozens of different training plans made for all levels that can be done on any rowing machine, including a rower like this. So if you're interested in a guided coaching experience with built-out progressive programs, check out my app, Just Row. It's linked down in the description. By the way, you will see a warning on the phone holder here that it does not support tablets. So if you are not good at seeing small screens, like if you're older, this doesn't quite support a tablet. However, I did find that the holder itself was a little loose, but you can simply use a flathead screwdriver to screw it in tight, and I got it to be pretty sturdy to the point where I think it could hold a tablet if you tried, if you screwed it in enough. Okay, so time to get raw and real here. This rower, to be honest, was a surprise. I'm surprised that it fit my body length. I'm surprised at how well it rows, how good the resistance settings are, but I'm not surprised with the crappy monitor and the not so useful companion app. The biggest downfall of a lot of off-brand rowing machines that aren't rowers like the Concept 2 Row Erg, Averons, Hydros, is that they don't report you the metrics accurately that you want to see. I mean, even looking at my pace per 500 meter average at the end of a little row, it was giving me an outrageous number, like 23 minutes per 500 or 4 minutes per 500. Numbers that just aren't accurate, they're just completely arbitrary and made up. And that aren't helpful for you being able to test your fitness with iconic rows like 2,000 meters or progress yourself through written or follow along training plans. So to see results on this rower, the metrics, the numbers, they aren't really gonna help you here, and you're gonna really have to find it based off of feel. But again, luckily, it does allow most people to take a good rowing stroke. I do wish that the seat was lifted a little higher though. I was pretty shocked at how well the folding design works and how quick out of the box you can literally just hop in and start rowing. But then I looked at the price for this rower, and this rower right now is retailing for about $800, which is just about $100 less than you would get from the gold standard in the rowing world, which is the Concept 2 Row Erg, which is a rower that has stood the test of time and is the primary rower that is used throughout boathouses and training teams across the world. And so to have a rower like this be just $100 under when you're already spending a lot of money on a rower, it's hard to justify that cost, especially when you can find used Concept 2 rowers on Marketplace for like $400, $500, or $600. And those machines are tried, true, and tested to last a lifetime. With rowers like this, we don't know how it's gonna hold up 5, 10, 15 years down the line. But there is something to be said for more of a pleasing wood aesthetic and the foldability of this rower. So if space is really a limiting option for you and you are looking for something a little more aesthetic, in that case, something like this might be for you. Now, if this rower was more like $400, $300 or $400, I would say it's probably the best budget rower out there for that mid-range price. But it's a fairly high ticket price for not really a ton more that it could offer compared to if you just got something like a Concept 2. Sorry, Kingsmith, don't hate me. I said I was gonna make an honest review, and those are my true and honest thoughts. So I would love to hear what you think down in the comments below. And if you're interested in this rower, click the link down in the description. Be sure to subscribe to the channel for more rowing machine reviews, rowing technique advice, and all things rowing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.